Hello everyone, thank you for stopping on my channel. In this video we are going to start working on the user interface of contacts manager that we are building in Laravel, Inertia, Vue.js and Tailwind CSS. So let's just jump in. In the previous video we implemented the database structures and model configurations and we added some seeders, and now let's view the UI again. And here you can see I am executing the node server here and Laravel development server here. This is using npm run deo and this is php artisan serve. You can see that right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and register myself, and let's see. I'm gonna click on register. Now I am redirected to the dashboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another menu item here that will be pointing to another page, and that is what we are going to add. So I'm going to go to views, resources, views, here in the JS files. Here we will find layouts and authenticated. So I'm going to search for dashboard. We have that right here. So I'm going to duplicate this and change the names to category. We can call it groups as well as category for the contacts. So these are the route names. This is how you can call Laravel routes from Inertia, and nav link is a component. So also I'm going to add that to the mobile view. So you can see here responsive nav link. I'm going to add the category as well, and these two as well. So control D, and there we go. So now I'm going to add a route for that with this name. So I'm going to go to web.php, and here we already have created a controller, right? Or we haven't. Let's search for controller. I guess we haven't created controller, HTTP controllers. So let's create a controller. I'm going to open another terminal, move to that directory, and let's do that. PHP artisan make controller. Let's call it management controller, because all the management methods will be in this controller, and we have to make that inside the auth middleware so that only authentic users can access it. So slash category, the controller name is management controller, import it, and the method that we are gonna call is let's say list categories, because in this controller we will have methods for categories as well as the contacts itself, and the name is definitely going to be category. Now let's go to that controller and create this method. So I'm gonna use function, and the name is this, and then here we are going to render using the, not this one, the inertia render. I think we can copy there from there. So just like this one, I think inertia is okay. So inertia use statement, and here we are going to this is going to be the path to the Vue.js file. So we are going to create that inside category directory, and let's call it a list, and we are going to pass two parameters or data. The first one is going to be the categories of this user. So category not create, where user id is the current authentic user id, so we can call that from auth id and get them. And then we have the status, so the status is from the session status, which is fine. Let's go to this, let's create this Vue.js file. So right here we have the dashboard, and I'm going to create this category slash list.view, and along with the list we will have two other files, one for create.view, creating a category, and one for edit.view, to edit a category. So I'm going to just copy and paste the boilerplate template from the dashboard. So I'm going to go to list and paste that, and as we are accepting two parameters, we have to grab that right here. So if I go to, let's say, edit, you can see this is how we can grab the data from the controllers in a props. So we are accepting categories, which are array, and we have status, which is string, that is fine. The title is going to be categories, and the title, the header is going to be categories as well. And here we are going to create our template for that, design our template for that. So let's just see how does that works. We have the category right here, and if I click on that, you can see we are redirected to that without refreshing page, as we are using SSR and SPA. So now let's implement this thing. So I'm going to remove this and add another div with the following classes. So, and if I create that, now here inside we will have a button to create a category, as well as a table where we will be listing all the available categories. So let's define a button. So we're going to be using the inertia link, and it will have href attribute. Let's leave that like this for now, and we are going to add classes to this, and definitely it's going to have a closing link tag. So let's import that. You can see inertia view 3, so that is imported, you can see. And classes are going to be the following. So float right, and it's going to have a text of create category, and this is going to be pointing to the router or the route. So as we saw in another file in the navigation, we can call so let's call it category dot create, and we will define that in the web.php. So category dot create, and let's say create category and slash create. I think it should be categories. This should be category slash create, like this. I'm gonna go ahead and yeah, that is it. So now here let's add a br. Oh, and then we will have a table. So table with the following classes, and also in the middle, in between the table, in the that button, we will have and the status that we like accepted above in the parameter which with the string type. So for now we can add classes to the table. Then we will have table body, as above. We'll have tr and tds, and we can hardcode for now, or we can directly put the values. So we are going to be applying loop in the tr, and whatever data is coming in the categories, and that will be displayed in this table. So we can use the v dash for loop, and we can pass category and index and categories, and we can pass key as a index, and let's have some classes on this tr as well. And as the first one is the index, so the index start from 0, so we are going to plus 1, that it's going to be starting from 1. And we can have some classes on this. So let's say bg white, and the other is going to be just like this. This is the category name, right? So category dot name, scope is row. Let's remove the scope. I think by default that's row. And here we will have the total contacts. So the relationship is contacts and underscore count is we will be adding. Let's add that. So as we said in demonstration, we will have total contacts with each record. So we can use the with count method and passing the method name, the relationship method, and we can return the total counts for that object. So for each row, for each category, it's gonna return the total contacts in that category. So using the with count and passing the method name, which is in the category model, it's gonna return that. And after this, we will have the actions. So we will have two buttons, one for the edit and one for the delete. So let's define a link which will be pointing to the edit URL, href, and link. Route is a category dot edit, passing the category UUID, so edit we need some classes for this as well. Why it's showing error? Element is a missing ending tag. Okay. So let's add classes, and I can copy and paste for the delete, passing the same UUID. Instead of blue, let's say red 600, and delete. So let's try that out. I'm going to category, it should be categories. I guess we have something wrong. Okay, so I'm gonna go to category, and we have the table, but I'm on the dark mode, maybe that's why it's showing that. A little weird, but we will have to make some entries. What was my credentials? Let's say tauseed@gmail.com. Password is password, and yeah, I can't see the button, so let's change the color from, what was the color, bg blue 500, let's say yellow. Still can't see it. Do we have bg dash white somewhere? Okay, I guess that is why it's showing everything white. So let's remove that. Still bg seems like bg gray somewhere. bg, let's say blue 800. Let's define those two routes. So one is edit and create dot edit and create dot delete. Error in the consoles. Now there we go. So create is not in the route list. What? I think I have to restart the server because it is getting confused with the routes that are defined. So I'm going to delete the cookie, and maybe that was because of the we reseeded the database, and Tauseed at gmail.com, and we did not relog in because the old session was already there, and this is the same application. So let's try it. Okay, the same issue. Let's do one thing. As we are not using it, I'm going to remove it. What's now? v-bind is missing. What if I remove the whole thing? What was this all about? That we already have some entries in the database, right? But it is not loading that to the UI. So I'm going to check it. F dash models category count, and we have 5 entries, and this should return 5 entries, right? I can check this as well, and you can see, and okay, the name is wrong, my bad. This should be categories. And now if I come visit this page again, okay, now the edit is throwing error. So let's remove those two as well, and in the next videos we will be working on edit and delete. We can implement that then. So I'm gonna refresh. It says can't read properties on name on null, and I don't know the reason. Weird. So what if I let's refresh? Okay, it's redirected to login somehow, and then dashboard. What? For whatever reason, it was showing that I was not logged in, and because I was not like authentic, and you can see these routes are in the auth middleware, but weirdly this route was still accessible. So now what we are going to do, let's add those routes again and see if still works. So colon href, or we will do that in the next video. Okay, so now that is working. In the next video we are going to implement the um, edit, delete and create functionality. So thank you for watching. See you in the next video.